Hello folks and welcome. So my video is on MX Linux today, the Xfce desktop. I'm going to be talking about formatting USB devices like USB sticks or portable hard drives. If you are sharing files between a Microsoft Windows machine and an Apple Mac and Linux, you may want to think about how you format those things. So I'm going to explain in this video how to think about those things and just give you some pointers along the way. This video is made for new users of MX, and I'll say welcome. All of my videos on my YouTube channel, by the way, are more than 2 minutes, but they all have chapters and timelines, so you can hit stop and see those below the video. More importantly, let's move on. Now, I have some devices. So my current user today is Mary. And Mary has a backup and a USB stick that has some files on there. One of them is a USB stick, a fairly decent size one, and one is a portable hard drive, a fairly decent one also. We're going to talk about how to format these devices. A device is either an internal hard drive, an external hard drive, or USB stick or thumb drive, some people call them. In either case, folks, welcome. So I'm going to put in USB, and you can open it here. You can also go to the settings manager, open up your MX tools, and look down at the bottom. Drag bar, format USB. Okay, so I'm going to close that and just go to the MX menu and just type in USB. And we're going to talk about the thought pattern that needs to go, and you need to basically think about this for a second. Now I have two devices to pick from. I have that USB stick or thumb drive and this portable hard drive. Either one I can format the same way. If I insert another device, then refresh the list. So let me talk about these four formats and why they're important to think about. Well, first of all, are you sharing files between your Linux MX or MX Linux with maybe a Microsoft Windows machine or an Apple Mac? Maybe you're not. But it's something to think about. You're taking your files. You have JPEGs, digital photos, wallpapers, maybe even PDF, portable document files, Word files, or just generally just sharing files. All right, so you need to have some compatibility between that machine of yours and the Microsoft machine, and that's where the USB stick comes in, right? So we're not talking digitally transferring that over the network. We're not talking about something off the internet that you're pulling from the cloud. We're talking about physical files that you're putting on the stick, or possibly a portable hard drive. So what does FAT stand for? File Allocation Table 32, FAT32. FAT32 is compatible with all three of those operating systems. That would be the Linux, the Microsoft, and the Mac. The extension 4 is the next category, and that is Linux. You may be already formatted with that currently on your MX installation. Another one to think about, which is not in this list, are like BTRFS. It's just a file system, as one would say. Then we have exFAT, and the last one is NTFS, NT file system, which is a Microsoft type of file system. But this one is the most compatible. However, it does have a limitation of a single file being 4 gigabytes. Single file. That means that if I got 100 JPEGs, for instance, that equal 13 gigabytes, will they fit on the stick? Absolutely. I'm talking single files. You can also read information in the help section for this. But this will be the format that you probably want to choose if you're sharing files between the Microsoft Windows and Linux and Macs, for instance. The next I'm going to talk about is the label and the importance of having existing files before you do anything with this format box. So you should answer yourself the question is, what do I have on these things? Well, this is my 14.6. So that would be this one right here that have a file on there. So if this is important to you, whether you have a single file or multiple folders, whatever, you need to copy that and put it somewhere else. That's the first thing you need to ask yourself. If not, then proceed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave the Thunar, the file manager, up. and walk over to this box here. And we're going to select the device first because I have two options. I have that hard drive that is connected to a USB port or the USB stick. So I'm going to choose the USB stick. Leave FAT32. And the next question is, what do I want to call that? Because that's the default label. So I called my last one test sub. So I will call this one backup USB. It doesn't really matter. It's probably something like something simple. How about just USB backup? It's whatever you want to call it. I'm just putting labels on anything. The next item is partition table type. I normally just leave the defaults. You do have options. And I don't really do anything with that. And then I'm going to hit next. And this process is fairly quick. But before you hit that next button, are you absolutely sure you don't need these files? Because you need to ask yourself, if this will destroy everything that's on there, on that particular device. This SDB, and you know, you're probably going, what does all that stuff means? It's just the way that Linux names that particular device. All right, but more importantly, take a look at that and take a look at what the USB stick has over here. So the answer is going to be yes, I don't want that file. All right, so the next question is, please put your authentication password in. And in this case, again, my user is Mary. So I put in my password. And now it takes off and does its magic, and it unmounts these. And more importantly, it's going to perform its magic, and you wait for that little post-it box. Do not hit close until it's finished. So it should be around under 20 seconds. You know, maybe some of your older computers may be slightly longer, but more importantly, just be patient. Format successful is what you want to see, and then it auto-mounts all this stuff. So I'm going to close all these boxes, and we'll walk over to here. So that was the USB backup, and as you can see, it destroyed all the files. I still have these over here. And I can perform the same thing for this backup or format this one also. Well, let me do that. That's good exercise. We can leave this up if you want. Again, USB, this time it's going to be the hard drive. So this time I'm going to select this one. Same thing. And what did I call the last one? I called it backup, so I will call this one USB HD1, just for a label. USB hard drive 1. I'll leave all the defaults. I'm going to use FAT32 for this example. And I'm going to destroy all the information. And this again would be about the rough same amount of time, roughly. This again is a hard drive that's connected to an enclosure. I have shown those in the past. I think I have a current, maybe I don't have a current video on those enclosures, but I got that enclosure for this really old hard drive fairly cheap. I think I bought it at Amazon for like a $12 or something like that. Anyway, successful. That's what you want to see. And then you close all the boxes, and let's go look at that. Now my USB HD1 has no files, and let's talk about putting files on here. Now I can share both of these with all three operating systems. Copying files, I'm going to go to Mary's home folder for a second. Copying files can be done multiple different ways, but something to think about if you are fairly new to MX. You can singly click on anything and copy those. And by the way, for my file manager behavior, not yours, I have this set for double click. That's just a preference of mine. So I could right click and I hit copy and click either one of these. It doesn't matter. This again is the USB stick. That's the portable hard drive. And I can hit paste. Okay. So another way of doing things too is I'm going to hit the back arrow key and go back to my home Mary documents, and I can also multi-select. So I've already copied that folder, or I'm sorry, that file. If I were to click that one and I want some more, I hold down my control key and click the other files. Now I have 3. I could also right click and release the control key, right click and hit copy. Click that and hit paste. So far so good. Now I'm going to drag a box around these and hit delete to get rid of them. Then I'm going to go back up to Mary's folder, grab a hold of these, and do a click and drag. Now you can practice this. Basically what I'm doing is using my computer mouse and doing a left drag to select. And you can continue going down if you like, or back it up. That's all up to you. And right click and copy. So this way I'm not doing anything with the keyboard. And paste. This is a USB stick, so you know it's not lightning fast. It's not like an internal hard drive. What you can also do in this case is you can highlight all of these again, right click and copy, and go to that. This is a portable hard drive connected to a USB port, and I can also paste those in there. What I can also do is open up, you don't have to, but this is just another option, new window. And am I done with all these documents here? Let's see what's in Mary's documents folder. Yeah, pretty much. Let's pick something different. I'm going to go to the music folder and leave this in US. Well, it doesn't matter which one I use. They both have roughly the same files. I'll open this Giovanni folder and let's see what's in there. Well, I could do the album art and make a copy of that into this device and also this one. So the album art got copied into both of them. Or I could just drag a couple of these things like that, like 4, right click and hit copy, or I can just drag them across. Okay, so they'll be in here. And if I wanted copies on the other ones, I leave these highlighted and drag those 4 in there also. You can do this multiple different ways. Okay, I'm just showing you some options here, folks. Okay, and then you can also resize the icons on the fly, or you can do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, hopefully you've seen some of my videos on the file manager through now, but anyways, you could resize icons on the fly. So again, this was the hard drive and this was the USB stick. And you can also transfer files in between these two devices. So if I were to do it this way, let's say that the USB stick in this case and this hard drive, one had more files than the other. I'm just going to delete these on purpose. Okay, and you have some additional files that it needs to go on the stick from the USB portable hard drive. Then you can just click around. So let me see what it doesn't have. So let's drag these 3 or 4, or hold down the control key and deselect that one. Right click and copy. Click in here and hit paste. If it has a duplicate, it'll complain. And now all I'm doing is copying from the drive to the stick. And keep in mind, it all depends on, are these USB 3s, are they USB 2s? Because let's face it, USB 2 in general is a little slower than USB 3, but USB connected devices are inherently slow compared to hard drives. Not by much nowadays, but they are slower than standard internal hard drives, especially solid state drives. And I have a solid state drive for the main hard drive in this machine. But we're talking USB devices today. So again, these could be your backup drives, and you can obviously just unmount these things, take them over to the Microsoft or Mac machine, because these were formatted with FAT32. So it's like recap. One more time, folks. Recap is this. If you want total compatibility on any of these devices, FAT32 is your best bet. If you're just doing this from one Linux machine to another, maybe it's one distribution to another, Linux distro, then extension 4 would work also. But just keep in mind, once you format that thing and you start putting files on there, and you decided to change your mind and take it over to that Microsoft machine, well, you're more likely going to have to reformat that with FAT32 again. It's not that hard to do, but more importantly, why do it twice? So file allocation 32 is the most compatible out of those formats that you see displayed in front of you. On that note, folks, I will say have a wonderful day and thanks for watching.